The first time Rebecca saw him, the sky was breaking. Not metaphorically, literally. A streak of silver tore across the night, brighter than any meteor she'd ever seen, trailing something that shimmered like shattered glass. The town of Milton slept through it, as it slept through most strange things, but Rebecca stood frozen on the hill behind her house, heart pounding as the sky seemed to open for just a second, and then it was gone. But she felt it. Something had arrived. The next day, everything felt wrong. The air hummed faintly. Shadows stretched just a little too far. Even the sunlight felt thinner, like it had to fight to reach the ground. "Rebecca, you're staring again," her best friend June said, snapping her fingers in front of her face. "Did you see it last night?" Rebecca asked. "The shooting star? Yeah. Pretty cool." "No," Rebecca said quietly. "Not just that." June gave her a look. "You need sleep." Maybe she did, but sleep didn't explain the pull she felt now, like something invisible was tugging her toward the woods beyond town, the same woods everyone avoided. She went anyway. Of course she did. The deeper Rebecca walked, the quieter the world became. No birds, no wind, just the steady rhythm of her own heartbeat and something else. A pulse, not hers. She stopped in a clearing, and there he was. He looked wrong, not in a frightening way, in a beautiful way that didn't quite belong. He stood barefoot in the grass, his dark hair falling across his forehead, his skin faintly glowing like moonlight trapped beneath it. His eyes, God, his eyes weren't one color. They shifted, like starlight caught in motion. He looked at her like he'd been waiting. "You came," he said. Her throat went dry. "Do I know you?" "No," he said softly, "but you were meant to find me." His name was Brendan. At least that was the closest translation. "I'm not from here," he explained as they sat across from each other in the clearing. "That's obvious," Rebecca muttered. A faint smile touched his lips. "I'm not from your world," he corrected. She blinked. "Okay, sure, that's normal. I understand how it sounds. Do you?" she challenged. He tilted his head slightly. "Not entirely, but I'm learning." Something about the way he said it, honest, unguarded, made her pause. "Then explain it," she said. He looked up at the sky. "I fell," he said simply. Brendan wasn't human. He was something older, something tied to the stars themselves, an entity born from light and gravity, from the quiet spaces between constellations. He wasn't supposed to be here, and he wasn't supposed to stay. "I have a limited time," he told her. "How limited?" He hesitated. "Until the sky calls me back." "That's not an answer. It's the only one I have." They shouldn't have kept meeting. But they did. At first, it was curiosity. Rebecca asked questions. Brendan answered them as best he could. He didn't understand things like music or laughter or why humans said things they didn't mean. She taught him, and in return, he showed her things no one else could. "Close your eyes," he said one evening. "Why?" "Trust me." She hesitated, then did. A moment later, warmth brushed her fingertips. Something light, almost weightless. "Now open them." She did, and gasped. A constellation hovered between them, tiny points of light drifting like fireflies, forming shapes that shifted and reformed. "That's impossible," she whispered. "It's memory," Brendan said. "Stars remember everything." She looked at him, breath caught somewhere between awe and something deeper. "And now I remember you," he added quietly. It happened slowly, not all at once. A brush of hands that lingered too long, a look that held meaning neither of them spoke out loud, a silence that felt full instead of empty. "You're different when you're with me," Rebecca said one night. "How?" "More human." He considered that. "Is that a good thing?" Her lips curved slightly. "I think so." He stepped closer, not touching, not yet. "I don't understand this feeling," he admitted. Her heart raced. "You don't have to." "But I want to." The first time they touched intentionally, the world shifted. Not dramatically, subtly, like reality itself leaned in to watch. His fingers brushed hers, and warmth spread through her, not burning, but bright, like standing in sunlight after being cold for too long. Brendan inhaled sharply. "You feel anchored," he said. She swallowed. "You feel like you're about to disappear." He didn't deny it. The truth came with consequences. It always did. "You've bonded with her." The voice wasn't human. Rebecca couldn't see the speaker, but she felt it, like pressure against her chest. Brendan stepped in front of her instinctively. "Leave," he said. "You are not sent to form attachments," the voice continued, echoing from the sky itself. "You were sent to observe. I choose otherwise. Then you will be corrected." The stars began to fall again. "It's happening sooner than I thought," Brendan said, his form flickering faintly. Rebecca's chest tightened. "What does that mean?" "It means I don't have much time left." "No," she said immediately. "No, there has to be a way." "There isn't." "Then we make one." His expression softened. "That's what makes you human," he said. "You believe in impossible things." "And you don't?" "I believe in balance," he said. "And this, us, it disrupts it." She refused to accept that. Rebecca searched. Old books, forgotten stories, legends no one believed anymore, and she found something, a myth about fallen stars who chose mortality. They gave up their power, she told him breathlessly, their immortality, everything. "And what did they gain?" Brendan asked. She hesitated. "A life." The choice wasn't simple. For him, it meant losing everything he was. For her, it meant asking him to stay, knowing what it would cost. "I don't want you to disappear," she said. "I don't want to either." "Then stay." He looked at her like she was the most impossible thing he'd ever encountered. "You don't understand what you're asking." "Then help me understand." "If I stay, I become human," he said. "I lose the stars. I lose what I am." Her voice softened. "But you'd still be you." "And if I don't stay," he said quietly, "I lose you." The sky began to fracture again. Time was running out. The final night they stood where it had all begun, the hill, the open sky, the space between choices. "I don't regret this," Brendan said. "Neither do I," Rebecca replied. The stars above them pulsed, calling him back. "Whatever you choose," she said, voice trembling, "I'll understand." That wasn't entirely true, but she meant it anyway. He stepped closer. This time there was no hesitation. He cupped her face gently, his touch steady despite the light beginning to tear through him. "You taught me something," he said. "What?" "How to want something more than I fear losing everything else." Her breath caught. "Then stay," she whispered. For a moment, he almost didn't. Then, the light around him shattered, not upward, not back into the sky, but inward. Brendan collapsed. Rebecca dropped beside him, heart in her throat. Brendan? No glow, no shifting starlight, just him, still, human. His eyes opened slowly, no longer infinite, just warm, steady, alive. "Did it work?" he asked, voice rough. Tears filled her eyes. Yeah, it did." He smiled, small, real, human. "Good," he said. The sky sealed itself. The stars returned to their places, and for the first time, they didn't feel so far away. Months later, Milton felt normal again, or as normal as it ever did. Brendan learned quickly how to laugh, how to live, how to belong. And Rebecca, she learned something too. Some love stories weren't written in fate. They were carved out of impossible choices. One evening, they stood beneath the stars. "You ever miss it?" she asked. "The sky." He looked up, then back at her. "No," he said. She smiled softly. "Liar." "Maybe a little," he admitted, "but not enough to leave." He took her hand, and this time, nothing pulled him away, because some stars don't belong in the sky. Some are meant to fall and stay, right where they're needed most.